All right, well, I thought I'd do a video on putting the brake master cylinder, rebuilding it, and telling you what's going on here. Um, so what I did is, this is the brake master cylinder pistons. This is the primary piston. This is I think they call it tandem piston. This is part of the primary. This is this comes apart with a screw that is threaded through here, and it's received there to retain it. This is the stopper for the tandem piston that mounts into that hole. So I laid out all these seals. These are the originals. And what I did is I got this repair kit from Ate, and it's old, but it is phenomenal. They give you all the seals, everything. What they did here is they changed the way that the seals are retained. These are just press fit, and it's superseded with this part, which replaces both of these two. This is a little bit more sturdy, I guess, but this is perfectly satisfactory, and there are two of them. So the other thing, and by the way, this is the instruction book that you get with it, which is extremely detailed. It has information on all of the seals. And I will just tell you that there's one thing to be very attentive of, and that is the difference between the primary seals and the separating seals that go on the tandem. Well, actually, they go on both. But there's a slight profile difference between those two seals, and you have to be very aware of that. Once you get that straightened out in your head, then you are good to go. And so what I did is I just laid everything out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start to assemble this. I have brake assembly grease over there, which I'm going to use. And I haven't figured out what this is for. This I was thinking maybe it's for the brake reservoir somewhere, but I can't figure it out. Anyway. That's a mystery waiting to be solved. All right, so let me get to putting this puppy back together. It's warming up nicely today, and maybe we'll do some repriming of the car. All right, talk to you later. All right, well, today I don't have any, I have bad news. So what I was trying to do was get the seals, get the primary seals onto this piston. And what you've got to do is stretch them out to get over these lips. And this is what happened. I tore it. Not one, but two. So now I've got to get a whole bunch of new seals. And the ironic thing was I was able to pull an old one off of the old piston, but anyway, this sets me back a bit. I'm really annoyed that I broke both of them. And, you know, of course, I did some Googling to see if there was any tips on how to do it. And, of course, no luck. So, I've got to order a new kit from Classic Alfa or somewhere, probably Classic Alfa. And I'll be working on that probably next week. So in the meantime, I'm going to remove the brake calipers from the car. So I'm going to give some updates on that. There's really not too much to really report. that's earth-shattering. But that's what I'm going to be working on in the interim while I wait for the parts to arrive. All right, well, in order to get my mind off of the rebuild of the brake master cylinder, I decided to take off all the wheels and all the brake calipers, and so that's what I'm doing. Tomorrow I think I'm going to do some painting. It's going to be a little bit warmer than today, although today's not too bad. Just a couple of notes on this. The rear calipers are harder to disassemble than the fronts. When I mean get the pistons out, the pistons on the front came out really easily, and I use compressed air. The best thing to do is to use brake fluid, and you can also use grease, but I didn't want to get involved in that. So what I did was I rigged up this stopper thing here. I just put a metal plate in here, and what this does is this allows the one piston to extend a little bit further than the other piston. And I actually think that if I just throw some compressed air on this, probably both sides will come out. Yeah. All right, well, anyway, we're on our way here. I'm gonna get all the parts out. I organize them in this kind of stuff, clean it up. I might throw this in the ultrasonic. I'm not sure. I don't know how this is going to clean up. I think it's going to actually come out really nice, like most other things in the car. So anyway, just a quick update. All right, I'll catch you later. All right, a little bit of an update on all things silver. These are the brake calipers after I used my universal solvent. Universal solvent is all the excess solvent that I mixed together. So it's got xylene in it, MEK a little bit, and it's got the acetone that I used from the... And I just use it as a generic solvent. But I actually, for this one, use gasoline first. And you'd be surprised what gasoline and a good wire brush, of course I got an assortment of wire brushes, you can't have enough of wire brushes, it does a pretty good job on, it does a pretty good job on this. I think this is all original zinc plating. I'm not sure if these guys were chromated or not. But anyway, they came out really nice. This one I think has a little bit more work done to it than this one, although sometimes the camera angle is a little deceiving. So that's an update on these master cylinder brake cylinders. I'm going to be doing work on the other brake cylinders later. But let's go look at some other silver things. And so here we go. This is the repainted engine compartment. I just shot this out with the newly formulated AR737 from Automotive Touch-Up. And I have to say, I mean, here's the spray card. And here's the paint on the car. It's kind of hard to get a little bit of a side-by-side on this, but there you go. I'd say that's pretty freaking good. Not exact, but it's pretty good. Of course, this paint is faded from 30 years, although it was spent most of its life indoors. But this is looking pretty good. I'm going to have a side-by-side over here. That's painted on the left and the original's on the right. And I'm going to take the original side off and see what it looks, see if it matches. But this is looking pretty good. It's going to need a coat of clear on it, although I'm going to concentrate the clear more on the upper side over here because the lower side, it had some clear on it, but not a heck of a lot. And this being a really nice warm day, this is the kind of activity you want to do. All right, I'll catch you later. All right, well, just starting off with a little update. I've got my injection pump back, and it's slightly worse for wear because the person that I shipped it to shipped it back in very, very, like, criminally, what I want to say, criminally deficient packaging. And the box was dropped, punched a hole, suffered some damage here and here on these, kind of the outside of the threads. This thing was bent over all the way. My little securing tab was broken. I doctored it back up. So hopefully this pump took a 6,000 mile trip. The car's only got 10,000 miles on it. It took a 6,000 mile trip. But it's back. I've got it back. There's a couple of things that I'm going to do to it, but even though these threads are damaged, I did secure a couple of the fastenings and they seem to go on okay. The pump is still turning, of course, still, so that's a good thing. We're waiting for parts to continue the rebuild here. And I'm starting to put the brake pedal cluster back together. There's 4 bolts that go on here. I've got to put the spring back in and the spring retention plate back in, which I believe goes this way. And then put that securing nut on there. And then we would be good to go there. I think I documented in a previous video that I broke the seals trying to install it onto this new piston. So I'm waiting for new seals, and I only need 2, but I'm getting 4 in case somebody else breaks them. But so that's what we're waiting on to get the brake master cylinder put back together. So all in all, moving right along. I got a very nice new bracket for the battery clamp. I've got to get some more. I got to get a little bit of hardware for it, but that's easy to source. So that's the update for this morning. And we'll be continuing along. Things are probably going to slow down a little bit because I am waiting for parts from England. If I'm lucky, they'll come next week. Maybe week after next. And maybe we'll do a little paint update, see what's going on there. It's kind of an interesting story. All right. Well, there's a hole in my car. Well, I'll tell you why. I took the gas cap off. It's pretty easy to do. You just go in here and you remove 2 screws, and the whole thing comes right off. Oops, up there. I should get some light, shouldn't I? But there's not really very much fanfare around this. It's right there, just held on by 2 screws. And it's kind of interesting, you know, they shoot the car, Alfa Romeo shoots the car with the thing assembled partially, and that's why you can see the primer and stuff in there. But anyway, why am I doing this, you would ask? And that is because I did not like the match. Here's the part. I did not like the color match that they did on the car from the touch-up paint that I ordered, and I would recommend that you don't even bother if you want to do a really accurate restoration. I would not bother with it. What I'm going to do, and here's what it looks like shot out. Now, you know, the camera is probably not going to give you the most accurate representation here. Let me again get some light on this situation here on edited videos. But well, actually this part right here shows you the most accurate depiction or representation. The side on the left is new paint, and the side on the right is older paint. Now, of course, this is an engine compartment, and that may, you know, the paint won't fade. It'll probably fade from heat, if anything. But the bottom line is that this paint is kind of bluish. I mean, that's the best way. It's darker and it's bluer. And, you know, I figure since I'm doing this and I'm doing it first, I want to do it, you know, right. I'm just going to do this all over again. I'm going to remove all this paint, go back, do primer again. But of course, the question is, what paint am I going to use? And what I found is that there's a custom, there are places, paint suppliers will take this and use a photospectrometer to get an accurate representation of the color, and they will create for you the most accurate color match you can possibly get. So what I did is I took, of course, the gas cap off, and I'm going to take this down to them tomorrow, and while you wait, they will sit there and they will try to shoot this out, and they can tint it to almost perfection. So that's the method that I'm going to do. Of course, I'm going to be getting the paint in a small quantity. I think I can get as little as a half a pint, which would be fine with me. Maybe I'll get a pint. And hopefully we'll be able to correct these with an airbrush, just spraying this paint on. Now, the other significant thing is that they can make single stage paint, so I won't have to mess around with this clear coating, even though it is kind of minimal in here. So that's what the plan is, and I'll give you an update on that hopefully later this week. It's going to be warm, so I'm going to be able to shoot this paint out without too much fanfare. I am going to use what's called a jam gun. I used this gun in the past. Is this it? This is a 20 ounce. It's a small gun. I have to look around. I thought I had another gun. Oh yeah, there it is. As you can see, I have a lot of Harbor Freight stuff. And if you take care of the Harbor Freight stuff, you know, it takes care of you. Some stuff is really junky, but anyway, this is what's called a jam gun, meaning that it shoots, you know, door jams and stuff. It's a very small gun. It'll work with It's easy to disassemble and clean also, but I shot my guitar with this thing. This will be perfect. I'll be able to get in there and shoot this thing out, and hopefully it shall work. All right, folks. Well, I'll have hopefully an update for you later this week.